Hi all, I hope you can hear my voice. I'll be getting the control in a bit and then I'll be sharing my screen, guys. Okay, just allow me 1 minute. All right, guys, I hope you can hear my voice and there will be a questions tab which you will be using for interacting with me. So you'll be like allowed to ask the questions and I'll be answering those questions. And in a minute, I'll be getting those presentation access. So I'll be talking with you guys in a moment. So just allow us 1 minute. That's great, guys. I can see your questions as well. That's great. Okay, so this is the questions tab, like where you can interacting with me and you can interact with me and then you can ask multiple questions. Here, I hope everybody is able to see that, right? Just can I just quickly get why from everyone that you can just see my screen? Yes. Okay, and my audio is also crystal clear, right? All right. I hope everybody is safe and everybody is happy to join this session. Thank you so much, guys, for the confirmation. You guys have been very fantastic and very enthusiastic and very responsive. I hope everybody is getting active in this lockdown period. All right, so what we are going to talk about is demystifying deep learning, and this session I have planned out especially to reduce the problems or the questions or the the lot of things which are going on in the market, and then like people get confused, right? It's very confusing, isn't it? Everybody gets confused, right? What is what, how it is being connected, and how artificial intelligence is able to you know change the future, and people just talk anything, and then you at times you feel alien about that, right? You are not able to connect those dots, right? Why people are doing this kind of talks, and you're not able to understand the context in between. So Shailesh is saying that my voice is breaking up in between. Just simply say it's good, or simply say good if you're able to hear properly without any problem. Just simply say good. Okay, so I guess it's the individual connection that may break down. Everybody's at home and they're using their data to a very good extension. So I hope that could be one of the issues. Okay, so what we are going to do, guys, what we are going to start the things from the scratch, and I also have planned out one session for artificial intelligence where I'm talking about the artificial intelligence, machine learning, and data science and their connections, what is what, which is again in couple of, I guess, next week sometime. So probably we can ask RPS to enroll you guys if you guys have not enrolled for that session, and probably we can talk if you want to learn the things from the scratch. But today we are not going to talk about deep learning, right? How many people have often get confused when they heard the term deep learning, and what is the main question you have? If you can just shoot out that question, in next 5 minutes, I will try to incorporate that in my session. And of course we will have a question answer session again at the end of this session, like 2 hours, and then we'll talk more on that as well, right? So of course, guys, the what is deep learning is, of course, is gonna be like covering, I'll be covering that up. But what is the next thing which is actually making you confused? Okay, so machine learning versus data science. Okay, just okay, I'll talk about that, right? Vignesh, don't worry about that. How it is deep learning is different from machine learning? Very good question, I would say. Siddharth is asking the same question, which is very good, I would say. Siddharth and Shatabdi both have asked the similar question. What is the difference between deep learning and machine learning? Very good, right? Okay, great, that's great. Okay, main difference between neural network and deep learning. Very good. How deep learning, machine learning are different from each other? Okay, these are the questions, right? A lot of misconceptions are there in the market, and then no matter how many videos you see, that you're not able to get those questions cleared. Okay, that's great. I get it. Okay, so I'll be giving you some action items, guys, after the session, and everybody needs to follow that. Okay, I hope we are okay with that, right? So I'll be giving you some action items to follow that, and uh, just be active on the chat. Is just that it's, I guess, the best way to respond. Like, you guys are asking questions, and I'll be able to answer them. Okay, so let's start. People are still joining in. I guess most of the people have joined, but let's start the session. Okay. So I'll give you my introduction first. My name is Sudhanshu Saxena, guys, and I have been a data science and big data and artificial intelligence trainer for a very long period of time. It's been 6-7 years. I have close to 13 years of experience as of now, and I've conducted more than 250 sessions on Hadoop, artificial intelligence, and big data, data science. And I've already taught more than 125 corporates till now in India. I've been into multiple domains of data. I've been visiting faculty on the all premier institutes all over India, pan-India level, including IIT Roorkee, SP Jain College, Kalinga Institute of Technology, and several colleges in NCR as well. I have total experience of facilitating multiple data science, schools and colleges, which you might have heard about. I have keen interest in market trends, big data analytics, machine learning, business analysis, and predictive analytics. I'm also involved in international, I'm an international author for several video tutorials which you have seen, and I have got several videos on the internet about various topics into the core technology. So this is what I do. Whenever I get some time, I invest my time in robotics, which is my, which is like a very fascinating thing for me, like since my childhood. So I spend a lot of time in doing artificial intelligence and robotics and IoT and all those kind of stuff. Okay, so this is what I do, right? And you can always find me on internet via LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I generally respond to all the queries unless I have some work. So when I'm in training and consulting, I do not respond, but I generally respond within an hour or so, right, on LinkedIn, right? So it's great to be connected with you all on LinkedIn. Okay, I'll be giving you the link to connect on LinkedIn. Okay, now right, okay, so Jerome has got one question. When I present ML model to client, it is easy to say which variable impact the prediction. We can also get an equation to present to them. How do we get information about the influential variable and equations from deep learning neural nets? Okay, very good question. We'll talk about all these stuff, right? Right, and Farid, I'll be answering your question as well, right? So I'll be answering all your questions. Okay, a lot of this air will be cleared. Okay, let's start. So can you see something which is not present, right? I have a question, right? And let's understand this question. I want this session to be interactive. Okay, so let's understand this. Can you see something which is not present? Now, which technology will help you do that, right? Have you seen that? augmented reality and virtual reality. The things are not present, but still you're working on it, right? I'm sure everybody has seen that Iron Man movies, right? Which help you, uh, Karthikeyan, would you like to mute yourself, please? So which will help you identify multiple things, right? So you can actually think of working on certain things which are not even present. Okay, now you have Microsoft HoloLens. How many people have seen the Microsoft HoloLens, where you can actually do multiple stuff? You can actually present keynote into several location. You can actually talk into a different language with same your actual gestures and everything, right? Which is heavily influenced by artificial intelligence. I'm talking about the technology which is making music by its own, which is creating music by its own, which is actually doing hours of music without any human intervention. I'm talking about the technology which can actually launch a concert without any human being involved into it, right? So there are several things which I'm talking about. I'm talking about alter ego. Alter ego is a technology where you are not even speaking, right? And your device is taking input from your mind. Basically, you're not even speaking a single word, you're not uttering a single word, and still your device is able to identify what you're thinking and then can tell you, right? For example, you can ask in your mind that what is the time right now, and the device will be able to respond with a small speaker saying it's 10:37 a.m. in the morning, right? This is something which is being going on right now, right? These, I'm sure everybody has seen these deep fake images, right? You can see that that deep fake images are able to um, right able to convert the gestures, the features, the voice and everything into a different perspective altogether. And you might have seen those things, right? Wherein you have seen that how a particular celebrity will look like when they will get older, right? I'm sure you might have seen that, right? That is again one of the feature of artificial intelligence, right? Now I'm talking about the technology where artificial intelligence is evolving by itself. It is actually learning the things by itself. It is actually manipulating the things by itself, and then changing the whole perspective of the way things are going on in the market. I'm talking about those things. I'm talking about the things where you can actually convert your images, the images which has been shot as black and white, and can convert them into colored images as if they were shot colored, right? There were no colored camera over there at that point in time, but you can't tell the difference between a colored image and a black and white image. It's that strong. I'm talking about that, right? I'm talking about the technology which can actually pick up your faces and can enhance it. Now, if you see that the clarity on the left hand side of the image is worse, and if you see on the right hand side is getting clearer, right? So it is enhancing your image as well, right? I'm talking about this thing where you can actually pick up a blurred image and convert them uh, into a very beautiful clean image as if it was shot from a very good camera. I'm talking about that technology. I'm talking about this technology where you have a photograph which was cracked, which was not even proper, but if you can see on the left hand side and right hand side, it's a photograph which has been about to get, I would say, like, it's just rusting out, and then you can see on the right hand side it's actually a photograph which is taken as if it is so clean, right? I'm talking about the technology wherein whatever you look at, whatever you are seeing, that machine is talking to your mind and actually trying to repaint what you are thinking. And you can see right now we are at this stage wherein if you see this, if you actually look at this, if you just see this, and machine is translating from your mind that you're looking at something like this. If you're looking at this thing, your machine is translating that you're looking at something like this. We are at that stage right now. Okay, I hope you're getting some point over here where what we are talking about. I'm talking about something which can convert your language into a different meaning altogether. You can actually change the language, right? So you ask like, do you have a pen please, and you record that thing, and you can convert that into English, Chinese, German, Spanish, and whatnot, right? I'm talking about the and these are all use cases, guys. If you realize that what I'm talking about is nothing but the use cases of artificial intelligence or deep learning, you can say, we'll understand that thing. I'm talking about the technology which can actually pick up handwritten text and convert that into a normal text. I'm talking about the technology which can pick up your images and convert that into the language which you like to see, right? I hope you're getting this, the zest of what I'm talking about, right? Now, how many people think that this is awesome, right, which is going on, and it's actually helping the humanity out? How many people think that it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah, do we think so? Right, these are all amazing things which are going on, right, like just next to you, right? But the thing is how this whole magic is happening. The point why we have gathered over here is to understand how this whole magical thing is happening, right? So what we are going to do is demystifying, or we are going to like break down, we are going to do the operation of artificial intelligence and try to find out what is that thing which will convert this awesome thing, which is coming out from artificial and converting the whole stuff and creating those things which are awesome in nature, right? So we'll talk about the definition. You might not be able to understand the complete zest of it right now, but I will be covering it back. Okay, so just understand, for the sake of understanding the deep learning logic. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning in artificial intelligence that has networks capable of learning unsupervised from the data that is unstructured or unlabeled, also known as deep learning neural network or deep neural network, right? It might not make sense at all, okay, at this point in time, right? But things will start making sense in just 10 minutes. Right now we are looking at the deep learning from like very close perspective. I want you to get away from deep learning and understand first thing first, right? Just leave that deep learning where exactly it was and just understand first thing, what is artificial intelligence. So artificial intelligence is making your computers think. Now first thing first, artificial intelligence is nothing but, if I try to make machine which can think like human, right, and take a decision like human, or it can make sure that my machines have the similar capabilities as human have. Now what kind of capabilities I'm talking about? Now you have to understand one thing: thinking humanly and thinking logically are two different things, right? For example, right, I would like to tell you, right, that okay, everybody has played chess, carom board, and ludo, and different games, right? Do we cheat? We cheat, right? We cheat, right? When we are kids, right, we cheat always, right? Yes or no, right? So we know that it's not logical, right? But we cheat, right? We think humanly, we behave humanly, isn't it? So the thing, behaving humanly and behaving logically are two different things. We change our rule when we see different things, right? Things are not logical, but still we do it. We know that we are not supposed to jump the traffic light or traffic signal, or we need to do the right thing, but sometimes right is not humanly, right? So that, if I want to create a machine like human, right, if I want to create a machine which can think like human, act like human, then probably I'm talking about artificial intelligence, right? So anything, if we automate some activities which are associated with human thinking, decision making, learning process, we are thinking about artificial intelligence. Or I can say the art of creating machines that can perform functions that require intelligence when performed by people, right? There are several definitions of it, but the original definition of artificial intelligence lies actually here: the science and the engineering of making intelligent machine, especially intelligent computer programs, which can behave as if human, right, as if human is working on it, right? And I'm sure like everybody must agree with that fact that that the most advanced logic which has been deployed in this this decade, or you can say in this last like 100 years, is self-driving cars. Everybody should be like saying yes to that invention, right? What we want is my car should take decision um as if a human is sitting in that car, as if a human is actually driving that car. My car should be able to take decision as if a human is taking that decision. My car will be able to take care of the things as if a human is taking care of those things, right? This is what I want. So I want to create a machine. I want to create a machine, or I wanted to create an artificial intelligence device which can behave as if a human is involved into that operation, right? This is what I want from my machine, right? Now if you just go back, there are multiple definitions of it, and I would like to reach out those definitions. So definition is, artificial intelligence is way of making a computer a computer controlled robot or a software think intelligently in a similar manner the intelligent human thinks, right? This is what I want from my machine. Okay, AI is accomplished by studying how human brain thinks and how human learn, decide, and work while trying to solve a problem, and then using the outcomes of this study as a basis of developing intelligent software and system. Okay. Now, I'm sure you must have realized by now that everything I'm talking about is actually um, behave like the whole perspective of show, like working on this thing is to behave humanly, right? I want to create a machine which can behave humanly, which can think like human, which can behave like human. If you just think that how a human brain works, it's a very I would say complex process, the way human think, right? So what we want to create is, we want to create a machine which can think like human, which can behave like human, which can take decision like human, and so which can solve a problem like human, right? This is what we want. So first thing first, artificial intelligence, what is my takeaway from this is, artificial intelligence is always try to mimic the human brain. We always talk about what is, how the humans are going to perform this job, and I'm going to perform the same way. I'm going to create a machine which can perform the task in a similar way, the way human might have performed. Okay. Now, the second point which we want to talk about is, what is machine learning? I'm not getting into the much depth of the topic right now, because it's more of a webinar, like 2 hours webinar. We'll just talk about the definition point of it. Machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence, right? One thing, if our artificial intelligence is making a machine behave like human being, machine learning is equivalent to mind of a computer, of a machine. So if I want to create, or if I want to mimic a human thing, I probably look for camera services for eyes, natural language processing for speaking, for hand movement and leg movement. I might look for the mechanical devices, actuators and sensors. But for mind to take decision, I'll be using machine learning. So machine learning is nothing different than artificial intelligence. It's a branch of artificial intelligence which actually makes your computer learn about something, which will make your computer perceive what is happening around it, and then behave accordingly, right? So machine learning is nothing but branch of artificial intelligence. Now, some people also talk about machine learning is about predicting the future based on the past, right? This is one of the myth which people always talk about. Now, if you just peel off the definition of machine learning, right, what you will get, I will get algorithms. Algorithms are what? Set of rules. If this will happen, 1 2 3 4 5, these are the several steps which will be performed, and then you'll get the output. Algorithms or techniques, there are several algorithms, sequence of rules or techniques which will enable a machine to learn from the data, right? Which will learn from the data, related with many areas such as data mining, statistics, information theory, etc. There are many things, right, which machine can actually learn from it, right? And we'll talk about that, right, how machine learns and everything, right? We'll talk about this. Now, if you just look at the whole paradigm, this is how it looks. The first thing first is artificial intelligence, which is any technique which enables computer to mimic human behavior, is artificial intelligence. This is our key takeaway, right? The second thing is, which is machine learning, which is the branch of artificial intelligence, right? Which is nothing but brain of artificial intelligence, which will actually make artificial intelligence impactful. AI technique that give computers the ability to learn without explicitly programmed to do so. Now, if I just talk about this thing, right? Which body part in human, right, will actually make you learn something? Your mind, right? So machine learning is nothing but the mind of artificial intelligence. Now, if you think about deep learning, um, guys, probably we will pick up the relevant questions, guys. Okay, we will not be able to like haphazard all the questions. We will not be able to pick up all the questions from all the world because it's a very huge domain. So I would always request you to please ask the relevant question related to the topic, which will always make sense, and I would love to answer them. Okay. The second thing which we are talking about is deep learning. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning, which will make the computation of multi-layer neural network feasible. Okay. Now, there are a couple of things I would like to understand this whole fact over here, right? Machine learning and deep learning are no two different things. Deep learning is a subset of machine learning only. Whatever task machine learning can do, deep learning can also do the same task. But there are two tasks which I'm going to ask two questions from you, okay? And I want you to understand this fact. Just think, if in a building, right? If in a building, one flat of 1000 square feet is costing you 50 lakhs, what will be the cost of 2000 square feet flat? Simple question. Simple question. 1000 square feet flat, 1 CR. Everybody is able to answer this, right? Very good. Everybody is, you guys are prompt, very good, right? 50 lakhs for 1000 square feet. If you just double the square feet, you will get the double price as well, right? Great, right? Everybody is correct, right? Now just think, I'm asking you another question. Another question is that I am color blind to red. Say I'm not actually, but I'm telling you this. Okay, just imagine a condition. I am color blind to red, right? Color blind red people are not able to see a particular color. Okay, can you explain red color to me? Just think. No, how would you leave? Okay, Sarthak, this is not the answer. How can you leave all the colors and still can say that no, I'm not able to see red color, guys, right? I'm not able to see red color. It's impossible, guys. You can't. If you have not seen one color, you cannot make somebody understand. There is no way to explain. Now there is a way, of course, Saurabh, there is a way because artificial intelligence is there, right? But you cannot explain. Just think, if somebody hasn't seen red color, you cannot explain red color to them. You can't do that. They will not be able to understand it. They see everything. Whenever you show a red color to them, they will see it as a shade of gray. Okay, so I think most of the people are not aware of what is color blindness. Okay, they are not able to see a particular color. For example, some people are color blind to green color, so when they see green color, they see it as a gray color, right? So no matter how many times you show them the green color, they will see it as gray. They will not be able to differentiate between gray color and green color. You cannot explain, Sachin. There is no point. I have already tested it. You can't do that. You can't do that, right? Now there are two examples. One is an example of the things where you can calculate. Okay, the second, Sumanji, this you can't do that. You can't explain red color to a person who's colorblind to red. You can't do that. There is a specific question which I have asked. Okay, Shatabdi, the person will see the gray color only, no matter what color combination you will make. You thinking of a kid whom you are trying to make understand what is a red color look like, but the thing is the person is adult, say 25 years old, and for the past 25 years he hasn't seen the red color ever. All right, so that the point which I'm trying to make is one example. The example which I have given you for the flat is an example where you actually done what you said, that every time somebody will give me a square feet value, I know that 1000 square feet will cost me 50 lakh rupees, right? And the input is square feet and the cost is my output. So cost is function of x. I would say if x get doubled, y will also get doubled, right? This is something which you can do. There are certain problems where you cannot define it. Now I'm going to give you some example, right? So let's understand this difference, okay? And that's what the whole agenda of this thing is, right? Deep learning and machine learning are not different. How many people find this funny? How many people find this funny, right? They are not different. They are doing the similar thing, but the way you execute them is different. Okay, right? I hope you understand this. Deep learning and machine learning are solving the same problem, right? They are doing the same thing, but the way you execute is different, right? And what is that execution? How many people find this funny? How many people understood this? Have you seen this movie? Right? Right, they are the same, they both are same, right? They both are same, they're both doing the same thing, but no, it's not bad or good. It's not bad or good, guys. It's just that one is powerful in a different way altogether, right? So they're not mirror image either, right? So how they both are same? Both works on features, right? Now what the years were indicating? Last slide, I did not have years mentioned somewhere. Okay, this is the evolution of artificial intelligence. Sorry about that, Kiran. I forgot. The years were the evolution, right, of different technologies. So artificial intelligence is not new. It's been, it's like in 1950 it's been invented. It's 1952, I believe. Okay, so both works on features, right? Yeah, kind of. Yes, so let's talk about this, right? What are features? In machine learning and pattern recognition, a feature is an individual measure, property or characteristic of a phenomena being observed. Choosing informative, discriminating and independent features is a crucial step for affecting algorithms and pattern recognition, classification and regression. Now what I'm trying to do over here is, let me ask you a question. Suppose I just I want your full attention over here, guys. Just think, I want to predict the cost of a flat, right? Some people are in Gurgaon, some people are in Delhi, some people are in, like, in metropolitan cities. Just think, what is affecting the cost of a flat, right? First thing first, if I want to predict the cost of a flat, I need to know the square feet, I need to know the floor, I need to know that the car parking is included or not, how many number of rooms we have, how many number of bathrooms we have, right? How, like, whether we have like some amenities or not. Now there are locality, very good, locality is one of the factor, right? Like, and whether we have the right direction of the flat or not. There are several, yeah, builder, floor, square feet, location, right? Very good, Rupak. Everybody is pro here. Now just think, the if I pick up all those elements which are impacting my cost of flat, right? These are called as features which are impacting my future thing, right? These are the factors which are impacting my future thing, right? These are the points which you will include while predicting the cost of a flat, and these are called features. Okay, so if I have the right features, I would be able to predict better. I hope you're getting this point, right? I will be able to predict the outcome, right? But In machine learning and pattern recognition, a feature is an individual measurable property or characteristic of a phenomenon being observed. What I'm trying to observe? The cost of a flat, right? Choosing informative, discriminating, and independent feature is a crucial step, right? Which means that it is very important for me to identify which points are important for me to identify cost of the flat. If I'll try to predict the cost of a flat by the rate of potato or onion in that market, right? Like what is the retail cost of onion and potato, probably I'm not doing the right justice to it. However, I may have a data about that as well, right? So the point is that I need to choose the features, right? And these features are the important prospective, right? For predicting anything, right? Now I'm talking about a second point. Everybody understood features, right? Everybody just say why. Just say why, that if you understood features. Yes, everybody. It's only y, letter y. Okay. Okay, great. Everybody said yes. Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys, for the confirmation. Now I'm talking about something different, right? Now we have seen that artificial intelligence is able to identify images. They are able to identify the language. They are able to identify the movies, the pictures, the voice, and whatnot. There are n number of things which our machine learning is able to identify. Okay. Now just think about this situation, right? I have an image. How many people are able to see this image? Like, I guess everybody. One of them is actually a loin, right? One or two. Which one is a loin? One or two? How many people see? Some people are one, some people are two. Okay, some people are two, some people are one. Can't predict. Some people are saying. Now just think, right? In an image, maybe both, right? They both can be a loin also, right? You can't say, right? It's very if you just keep on guessing. Just think. How many people say which one is loin or dog right now? They both can be loin, they both can be dog, right? One and two, one is okay. Some people are okay, right? Very good. Now just look at this. Can you identify it now? One is dog, second is loin. Okay, very good. Just look at this image. Look at this. Now the thing is that you have actually done something which is very crucial for you to understand deep learning, right? You have identified the features which are defining loin as a loin and dog as a dog, right? Now I want you to write that feature on the piece of paper. Don't do that right now. Just think that if you need to write the feature on the piece of paper in such a way that if you feed that information to machine will be able to identify which one is dog and which one is loin. Can you do that? It's difficult, right? You understand? For predicting the cost of a flat, it was easy for me. It was easy for me because I know that what all features are actually important for me to predict, right? The cost of a flat. But think about an image, think about a video, think about certain things. So the kind of thing which we are having right now over here is also being identified by features. These are features which are and then you get confused at times, right? When dog starts showing you the traits of loin and loin starts showing you the traits of dog, then probably it's very difficult for you to identify, right, which one is what. The thing is that the features are being mixed up, right? And this is exactly what is being done by machine learning and deep learning. Okay, so let's understand thing, right? Deep learning is very powerful, right? And why it is powerful? Because deep learning can identify the important features by its own, right? When it comes to machine learning, you need to give features. You need to tell your machine, hi machine, if I want to predict the cost of a flat, and as per my knowledge, as per my domain knowledge, square feet, and the number of rooms, number of bathrooms, number of balcony area, number of bedrooms, the flat, the floor number, or the parking lot covered or not covered, locality, amenities. These are the important features while predicting the cost of the cost of a flat. However, when it comes to identify dog and cat, I am not able to give them features, because either it is very difficult for me to make my machine understand about the features, or the number of features are so huge that by the time I'm done defining all those features, it's actually years are gone, right? So I need one specific form of machine learning which can identify the patterns automatically, which can identify the features automatically. How many people understood this? So machine learning is where human gives the input, right, important features, and deep learning is where it identifies the features by its own. So I hope everybody understood features and everybody understood the difference between machine learning and deep learning. Just say why if you understood. Why, the two why letters, right? So you understood both, right? Very good, very good. You guys are smart, very good. Okay, Satish, so we'll talk about that, how it identifies those things, right, which is difficult, right? So we understood this part. Okay, I hope everybody is clear. Very good, guys, thank you so much. You've been very active. Out of 500 people, I have these 100 people who are very active. Very good. I remember all of your names. Very good. Okay, so now we understood something, and if you just think, that's the only thing how computers and humans are different. Because for computers, you need to give them input every time to get some kind of output, but a human, you don't even give them input. You just show them, okay, this is red color, and they will understand something. You don't know what. If you tell some 1-year-old kid, hey kiddo, just look at this color is red, he or she will understand that color in his or her mind without explaining what she has understood. So somehow she or that kid has actually picked up the feature of red color without understanding the features, right? You don't know what a kid understood, but that kid understood that what is red and what is not red. Okay, this is what is happening, right? So things are black box in your mind. Also, if I make you understand what is happening, just look at this green color. This green is different than the bottle green color. Probably you will understand this thing, but you don't know how this process happened. However, if you can explain that process, that becomes machine learning. So machine learning and deep learning are different in a way where machine learning needs a manual input of the features. Deep learning identifies the important features by its own. Yes, right? So we understood those differences, right? So thanks to deep learning, machines can understand very much like human. They can think, act, and learn, right? So there are some limitations in machine learning, right? And what are these limitations? Both machine learning and deep learning starts with training and testing the data, right? They learn from the data, and then they identify the output, right? For example, if you just keep on showing that, you know what, this is Donald Trump, this is the photograph of Donald Trump, this is the photograph of Donald Trump, and blah blah stuff. If you have machine learning algorithm and deep learning algorithm, you give 100 photographs of Donald Trump, and on after giving 100 photographs, your computer has learned those photographs and the patterns, right? And then next time you ask your machine that which one is Donald Trump, both will be able to identify. But in machine learning, it will be very difficult for you to train, because you have to identify the traits, and it's difficult for you to identify the traits. For example, just look at this, right? In this photograph, some people just identified the loin and dogs by legs only, right? Some people identified by the weightage of hair only, right? Some people identified by eyes only. Some people identified by the nose only, right? And some people, if you just look at these images, they are pretty similar to each other, right? Some people, so there are some, you are looking at nothing but the features, and if you can identify the important features, that nothing, there's nothing like it, right? So both can handle the similar things, both can handle the classification, and both learns in a similar way, right? uh, Deep learning with and machine learning, they both learn in training and testing, and then they both go through the optimization process. They will both identifies the weights and fit the model and predict multiple things, right? Both can handle numerical and non-numerical problems, object recognition and language translation, where deep learning model tend to produce better fit than machine learning model. Okay, so deep, there are several features, there are several features which has got n number of things to predict. For example, if it's very easy for me to predict the price of a flat, but where we have like 12 13 variables which are impacting the cost of flat, imagine if these features are 10 to the power 6, 1 million or 2 million or 10 million or 100 million or 1 billion even. If I have 1 billion features, probably it will be difficult for me to predict the cost of a flat. Do you agree with me? And that's where we start using deep learning, because deep learning can do the task for me. Okay, Pravan, I'll be talking about that. I'll be talking about that, don't worry. I'm sure some air has been cleared. There will be several logic which will be cleared very soon. Okay, now just think now, right? I'm reading that again, that the same definition, right? Deep learning is a subset of machine learning in artificial intelligence that has a network capable of learning unsupervised from the data which is unstructured or labeled, also known as deep learning or deep neural network. Now, deep learning is the basic unit of artificial intelligence. If I want to create a machine like human, I want my machine to learn like human, behave like human, act like human, think like human, take decisions like human, perceive the environment like human. I want to deploy deep learning in there, in that machine. And if I don't do that, probably it would be difficult for me to apply that logic, right? So more specifically, deep learning is considered as the evolution of machine learning. It uses a programmable neural network that enables machine to make accurate decision without help from humans. Now you must be wondering, what the heck is neural network right now? Okay, how many people think that way? That's the only thing which is alien right now in this definition, right? Rest everything is understandable, right? The deep learning is an evolution of machine learning, right? uh, it uses programmable neural network. So let's do the operation of deep learning and see what is that thing in deep learning which is actually making it so efficient, right? Let's read out the definition and understand this, how deep learning works. Okay. A deep learning model is designed to continually analyze data with a logic structure similar to how human would draw conclusions. To achieve this, deep learning applications use a layered structure of algorithms called artificial neural network. The design of an artificial neural network is inspired by biological neural network of the human brain, leading to the process of learning that is far more capable than the standard machine learning algorithm. Now, it might, its definition might not be clear right now, but what I'm trying to do is, what I'm trying to make you understand is that if I want to create a human like architecture, um, which is artificial, I need to take inspiration from the nature, right? So if I want to create the mind of artificial intelligence in such a way that it should start learning or behaving like human, I would pick up the inspiration from human brain, and human brain has got a biological neural network, right? And I want to convert that biological neural network, I want to design that biological neural network, and I will call it as artificial neural network. Does that make sense? So I want to design that thing from my from my from my system or computer, I would say. Artificial neural networks, or ANN, is an information processing paradigm that is inspired by the way the biological nervous system such as brain process the information. It is composed of large number of highly interconnected processing elements called neuron working in unison to solve a specific problem, right? This is how my neurons look like in my brain. I have several neurons in my brain. To be honest, we have billions of neurons, right? And I'm not sure if this could be trillions also, right? Billions for sure, right? We have billions of neurons in our mind, which sparkles when we get some kind of information, right? And the basic unit of that neuron, right, which you seeing the structure over here, right, at the in the background, look at the images in the background, right? You see a structure there, right? That structure, correct, right? Everybody is right, right? Guys, just reply audible. Jerome is not able to hear. Just reply audible if you can hear me. Just reply audible. Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys. I got the confirmation. I guess there could be some temporary problem with these guys. No worries. So some people might be facing that typical problem. So this biological inspiration is the unit of this, right? So this is my neuron, right? Now this neuron, you can see that we have a biological neuron, and this biological neuron has got like different terminals, and they are connected to other neurons and just passing on the information from one place to another, and this is what is being done right now. If you just think, just think this neuron as this neuron. So this is my logical neuron, which I have created in my computer, right, in my system, in order to function a neuron like this, so this is biological neuron which you're seeing right now, and this is my logical neuron which I have created in the system, and it works exactly the way human neuron works, right? Biological neuron works, and we call this neuron, artificial neuron, as perceptron, right? Just write P if you understood this. Biological neuron is equivalent to perceptron in artificial neural network, right? Just write P, right? Understood. Very good. Thank you so much, guys, for the confirmation, right? Now look at this, right? So if you just think, so if I have X1, X2, X3, there are input which are coming out from various things, and I am passing this information to this activation function with some weight and bias, and then we get the output. Okay, so now I have this function over here, right? This is which is converting. Yes, Dinesh, correct. Perceptron. Yeah. So Pawan, I'll just repeat that perceptron thing. Perceptron is an alternative of biological neuron. So in your human mind, you have several biological neurons, like billions of neurons, which is, and the individual unit is called neuron there, right? Which is like is the shortest unit of mind. And in your artificial intelligence, we have the smallest neuron, which we call it as perceptron. Okay. Okay, so we'll just as we'll talk about that. Just give me some time. I'll just explain everything, right? Shobha, I hope you get this, right? So now how this activation function, so you must be wondering, like, what is bias, what is activation function, what input I'm getting and what output I'm getting, right? You must be like thinking about all these things, right? We'll talk about that in a minute. So first thing first, let's understand what is activation function. Activation function is important for an artificial neural network to learn, or ANN to learn and make sense of something really complicated. Their main purpose is to convert an input signal of a node in an ANN to an output signal. This output signal is used as an input to the next layer in the stack, right? And this activation function is the function which is responsible for any machine to identify what output they are supposed to get. Now I want you to think, just consider the image which I'm showing you over here. How many people have actually traveled in auto rickshaw? Everyone? Have you traveled in auto rickshaw? How many people got the rejection from auto rickshaw guys? Auto rickshaw guys, you got the rejection, right? And then when you offer them good money, they will go, right? Right? They will go, right? So let's do this, okay? Let me just give you one example. First thing first, let's understand this. So y is equals to function of x, okay? I hope you can see what I'm writing, right? Which means that whatever the value of y, this is my dependent variable, which is dependent on the value of x. My x is an independent variable, okay? So I will keep on changing x value and I get the output change, or you can say function of x is y, right? We can also say this. So this is my input, and I'm getting output over here, right? This is what we are trying to do. Now just think, I want you to think in this perspective. Just think that if you want to go from location A to B, and the cost of this, like if you hire an auto rickshaw driver, he logically has to charge 50 rupees, okay? Right? Now just think, so you have say 0 rupees, right? 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, right? Somewhere here, 80 rupees, right? So if x value of x, this is my x-axis. Let me just give me one moment, please. Let me just do this. So this is my x-axis and this is my y-axis, right? This is my x, okay? So if you offer 0 rupees to this guy, he won't go. If you offer 10 rupees, he won't go. 20 rupees, he won't go. 30 rupees, he won't go. Because the actual price is 50, he won't go, right? Right? But whenever you offer anything above 80, the output is 1. So if x is lesser than 80 rupees, y is 0. And y is what? Either he will go is equals to 1, or he will not go is equals to 0, right? So if x is lesser than 80 rupees, right, y is always 0, right? As soon as x is greater than or equal to 80 or 81, or I can say 80, y will be equal to 1, right? Just look at this, right? As soon as it goes above, so for all values above 80 and above, this y value is 1. 0 is he is not going, 1 he is going, right? I hope you're getting a sense of it, right? So this activation function is taking input as x value, where x is some money which you are going to offer, right? And y is the output of this auto rickshaw driver, whether he wants to go or not, right? Now if you pick that all information, right, if you pick up all these information, you will find one thing over here, right? That if I want to, suppose I'm trying to create a self-driving car, and I see whether whether I have a person on the road or not, whether red light is on or not. If it is on, then 0. If it is off, then I can say let's move, right? So I hope you're getting this logic of this activation function. There are several activation functions. Several activation functions means that if I want to design a logic wherein if x increases, if x increases, y also increases, I will be designing my logic like this, right? And after a while it will not move further, right? I can have a function like this also, right? I can have a function like this also. I can there are several ways you can define the function. Now this is the simplest function which I try to make you understand. All these functions are simple. It's just that if you understand, if you can connect the logic behind that, that will be great, right? So I hope you're getting this. Now the second thing which we want to understand is that if I have, right, I have got x as input, right? And I'm supposed to get y, right? So I say that I have some input here and I have some value output, and this y, I will call this as y output, and I have y actual, right? So when I pass n x value to this logical perceptron, you can say, right, I get some y output, right? And I want to find out something called as error. And what that error is, the difference between what I got as an output from the perceptron and what was the actual thing, right? I hope you get that logic. So if I say y actual minus y output is my error, if I know this error, I can backfeed this information to change the value of x. Now x is always constant, I cannot change the value of x. So what I will do is I will align some weight value over here, and this weight will be in conjunction with x, will change in such a way that the y actual and y output is close to 0, which means that identifying the actual thing via perceptron supposed to be 0, and that's what the function of activation function and the perceptron is. I hope it is making sense to everyone what I'm trying to say. But if you understand the example which I'm giving you, which is good enough, because I'm not sure if you're going to work directly into the coding part or something, but this is how it works, right? And I hope you are very much getting the feeling of what this activation function and the bias function is, right? Right? Can I quickly get yes from you guys that you're able to understand this? We are trying to minimize the error. This is what we are trying to do, right? Every time. So for example, say when I'm playing a carom board, right? When I'm playing the carom board, if I hit a particular coin in such a way that it just missed out the proposed outcome, right? I would try to change my input. I will keep my force the same, but I'll keep on changing something which is variable in such a way that I will achieve that perfection over this, right? So I hope you are getting this logic over here, guys. There are several questions which are coming in. I will be answering them, right? Let me just finish this up and then we'll be talking about it. I hope you're getting this logic over here. Target variable is known. For example, Manish, if I want to make my machine understand what is line, I know what a line looks like. So I can always align that. Yes, I can always align that part. So I hope you're getting this logic over here, right? So if I pick up multiple activation functions, right? I have say several activation functions. These are 4 activation functions, right? I can align a multiple activation function. Now just think about this thing, right? For example, if I say I am having a self-driving car, this is my self-driving car, right? So you can appreciate my drawing, guys. I'm putting my best efforts to make a car like this. How, I'm not sure if it looks like a car even, but just you can appreciate my efforts. And there is a speed breaker, and I want my car to, suppose this car is coming with x speed, I don't know, x1 speed, right? And there is a speed breaker, and I have set up a rule, and rule is that while you are actually on the speed breaker, you need to be 3 to 5 kilometers per hour of speed. No matter what type of speed you are taking in, you have to be at 3 to 5 kilometers per hour of speed. Now there is, now car will think, okay, this distance is, I'm calling it as d, right? D could be 1 meter, right? It could be 2 meters, it could be 1 kilometer also, right? My, and just imagine I need to apply brakes only, okay? My car could be in 6th gear, 5th gear, 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear, 1st gear, or neutral, right? These are the possibilities. My car speed could be 120 kilometers per hour, right? 119 kilometers per hour, 118 kilometers per hour, or 3 kilometers per hour, or even 1 kilometers per hour. It could be anything. The weight in the car could be 0, right? It could be 10, it could be 100, it could be 400 also, right? Now these are the factors which will define how much pressure I need to apply on the brake so that car will change the speed to 3 to 5 kilometers per hour once it is hitting the speed breaker. So I have input. So suppose speed is one input over here. Speed is one input. Then we have weight, which is one input over here. Gear, which is one input over here, right? Then I have whether the distance is one of the input, right? Then we have suppose whether seat belt is on or not, right? The n number, if I just put in all those features over here, right, I'll combine all those features over here, and if I just apply, all those things over here, I need to calculate all those values, and after calculating all those values, I will be able to take the decision whether how much brake or pressure I need to apply in order to stop that particular thing. I hope you're getting this logic, right? Everybody is able to understand this logic which I'm trying to um thank you, Sumit. Right, you may recommend my name to Tesla also, right? I can do the lot of work for them, right? So you can have multiple bias thing over here, right? Multiple things over here, right? And if you just add some layers to it, Manish, it could be supervised, unsupervised, both, right? You can add multiple layers to it. Their layer will look like this, and if you combine that, there could be multiple layers in between, right? Now this will be an, if you just think this way, I have input layer on the left hand side, I have output layer on the right hand side, right? And I have one middle layer in the mid, like in the middle, right? Or only one layer, right? This is called artificial neural network. Okay, if I have multiple layers in between the input layer and output layer, I have got deep neural network. Deep neural network, which means that I can have multiple layer in between. Right, this is called deep neural network, right? And how a deep neural network looks like this, right? So if you say, somebody says that I'm working on neural net, I'm working on artificial neural network, I'm working on deep learning, I'm working on multiple things, then eventually they are saying the same thing. They are actually working on artificial neural networks or deep neural network, right? How do you integrate these various outputs? Siddharth, there are various things which we need to get into this thing to understand. I'm just giving you a high level overview as of now. We have little less time to describe all the stuff, but there are libraries, there are predefined functions which can do the task for you. Okay, good question, by the way, right? So this is how I will achieve the human behavior for creating that artificial neural network, right? And just think, this is how it looks like. Okay, so I have suppose somebody has written that 7 letter, it will convert that into multiple pixels. Each pixel will go into an input layer. From that, it will be passed on to the middle layers, and from middle layers it will be able to identify the correct letter, and these are the possible outcomes, right? You cannot have any outcome beyond this. So 0 to 9 is something which has been identified, and this is the same logic which has been given or been used in number plate recognition. I'm sure many people like might have seen that number plate recognition thing, right? So it's a number plate recognition is some nothing but the application of the same thing, right, which you're seeing right now. Okay, right? So if you just pass on, if you want to apply the images thing, basically you will pass on multiple things, right? It will go to the several input layers. Then this, if you look at this where I'm pointing out, right, just look at this, the patterns of local contrast will find out the various contrast function, and then it will pass on these things to a hidden layer where it will identify the different face features, right? And after that, it will go to the output layer where the exact faces will be identified, and out of those exact faces, it will actually give you the result on the output layer after identifying the right person, right? Now I just wanted to give you this idea. How many people are doing Facebook since 2008? Anyone? 2000 days, just say why, or me. Okay, 2009, yeah, that will also do, right? So now the thing is, have you noticed this change? Have you noticed this change, right? That earlier you were able to tag anyone in any photo. later on, second stage came when they asked you to identify the human faces, and you can tag some people only on those faces. And I'm not sure if 2006 the Facebook was working. I was not using it. uh, so then later on they ask you that who is that person. If you tag that person, the algorithms learned that this is the face of a particular person, right? Then they have gone um, then they have gone next step ahead. They were able to identify that there is a face in the picture, and you can tag only the, like if there are 5 faces in the picture, you cannot tag more than 5 people, right? Then if you've learned now later on they have reached to a state where they are telling you that out of those 5 phases, one phase is of Kedar, second phase is of Manish, the third phase is of Shishantr, and then Sevanti and Ayan, and would you like to tag him, and you say yes or no, right? Have you seen this evolution over a period of time? They are training their network to identify the faces over a period of time. Now the machines are independent, they are intelligent enough to, even if they have the part of your face in the photograph, they are able to recognize your face. Have you noticed that? Let's say why, if you notice that over a period of time, right? This is, they are enhancing the machine learning algorithms are learning the way your face looks like, and then they are identifying the faces, right? So even if the part of the face is being present, they are able to identify the face. Yes, correct, Pavani. This is correct. Now there are several problems on the internet, right? Which now there are certain problems which are very difficult for a human to identify, right? For example, identifying cat in this photograph is pretty difficult for you. It will learn that, Deepak. Even if you say that it is not your face, that it will learn. But if somebody else will say that it is your face, it will learn that also, right? Okay, now just look at this, right? You might have seen this photo, this kind of problems, right? Very much earlier also, right? Farid, it's self-learning. Reading questions quickly and answering. What learning you are applying? I'm applying deep learning here. All right, have you seen this? Right now, some people, I guess only 2-3% people are able to identify the cat. If you just look at this image, right, it's very difficult for you to identify where is the cat, right? And then if you just look here, if I show you now, the thing is that I need to identify the features of the cat, right, which will help you identify where exactly the cat is. It's very difficult to see the cat in this whole haphazard photograph, but it's very easy for a machine to identify the cat by just identifying the features. So there are several tasks which humans are not able to do, machines are able to understand those tasks as well, right? Now there are several architectures of deep learning, and the names, so there are like several names, but there are very correct, Naveen, very correct. They are very like niche, I would say, architecture in deep learning. Like perceptron is the first architecture of deep learning, then convolutional neural network, recurrent neural network, long short-term memory network, Hopfield networks, Boltzmann machine network, deep belief network, deep autoencoder, and there are whatnot, right? There are several are being discovered also. They are expert in doing several stuff, right? So I'm going to talk about some expert architecture which common public or the people are using. For example, convolutional neural network. Now this convolutional neural network is again is a deep learning, like it's actually been evolution has been done from deep learning algorithm. It can take input image, assign importance, learnable weights and biases to various aspects and objects in the image, and will be able to differentiate one from another, right? Now the architecture of convolutional network is analogous to that of connectivity patterns of neuron in the human brain, and was inspired by the organization of the visual cortex, right? This is something which you need to remember, right? It is also been used in computer vision. So I'm sure like you might have heard about computer vision, that machine are able to identify your faces, photographs, and there are several patterns, right? Computer visions enable machines to view the world as human do. So convolutional neural network is responsible for making you see the things, or making the machine see the things the way you are looking at it, right? Similarly, we have something called as recurrent neural network. Recurrent neural network are a class of neural network that is powerful for modeling sequence data, such as time series or natural language. Now, what is the sequence thing I'm talking about? For example, 1.5 year, like one and a half hour ago, when I started some topic, I'm still speaking in conjunction of that topic, right? There are two things which are happening. Mind is able to connect the dots of the language, and I'm choosing my words in such a way that my 5 minutes before whatever I talked about, it will start making sense right now for you. Now the second thing is that your mind is also able to connect those dots. You might have seen Iron Man, you might have seen Terminator, you might have seen several like Transformers, you might have seen several movies, uh, and those things might be flashing in your mind. You're trying to connect the dot, right, from that thing, right, whatever I'm saying. So you are able to remember certain things, and you are also trying to connect those dots. So similar thing can be applied in deep learning also. It is a class of neural network which is powerful for modeling sequential data, right, which is like the one is coming after a specific sequence, right? RNN is recurrent in nature as it performs the same function for every input of data, while output of current input depends on the past one computation. If if a person is not able to align the sequence of what he's saying, then we call that person mad, as simple as that. So it's a very important function for mind to talk about something in conjunction, right? Now, what this RNN does, it's specialized in processing sequences. It is used in being machine translation. For example, what you are saying, whenever you type on Google, right, why, and then it find out the right, then what you're going to type next is nothing but the function of translation. Whenever you type some you know some language in the Google Translate, it is trying to convert that into some relevant language. That is again the function of recurrent neural network. It is also used in sentiment analysis to find out which all sentiments are positive or negative and what a user is trying to say. Similarly, we have long short-term memory network, right, which is the modified version of recurrent neural network, which makes it easier to remember the past data in memory. So it actually is a evolved function of RNN. It is actually is being used in human action recognition, music composition, short-term traffic forecast. It is being used in information of long period of time. For example, when you watch Iron Man 3, you remember how Iron Man 1 part 1, or the first Iron Man movie, was able to face the problem, and then in second it resolved the problem, and this is how he fought with the bad guys, and in third it's an extension of the third one. And if you sometimes miss out the sequence, then you feel lost, and then you wanted to actually pick up the sequence in the middle, right? Happened with some of us, right? We are not able to watch the sequel because we did not know the what has happened in the prequel, right? It happened with us, right? Everyone, right? This is what happens with us, right? So it's one of the application of deep learning, which is being used to align the sequential thought, and it can also remember the past data, right? So what is our takeaway, right? I'm going to take up your questions, guys, right, in a minute. Neural networks are one of the most beautiful programming paradigms ever invented. In the conventional approach to programming, we tell the computers what to do, breaking the big problems up in many small and precisely defined tasks that our computer can easily perform. By contrast, here it is very important, in a neural network, we don't tell the computer how to solve our problem. Instead, it learns from observational data, figuring out its own solution to the problem at hand. Today, deep learning and deep learning architecture learning achieve the outstanding performance on many important problems in computer vision, speech recognition, natural language processing. They are being developed on a large scale by companies like Google, Microsoft, and Facebook. And I'm sure you might have heard about this thing as well, right? Okay. Okay. So guys, I hope you understand this, right? And I want to take up some of your questions, right? Uh, I would suggest please ask the question, and please ask the relevant question. All the relevant question I'll be answering, uh, right? And I will be like looking at your questions. Okay. Now, sometimes we forget something, but when uh, sequential, though we find the answers. Yes, correct, Rupak. You are absolutely right. We always look for the sequence in the data, right? How do you find which algo or technique to apply in which use cases, Piyush? It is actually, there are methods to do that. When you learn data science or machine learning, these are the methods which you learn. Basically, you define your task in a certain way, and those certain ways actually make you understand that what kind of algorithms you need to apply. How much is the computational cost attached to DL algos in terms of servers databases? Okay, Nivedit, it's a very good question. Lot of um, lot of cost is involved, I would say. That's why like people run for GPUs and hard like CPUs, which are very much important for making you learn about various things, right? So actually I would say it's very costly, and by the time it's passing out, this cost is becoming lowering, like it's lowering down. So that's why we keep on improving on those things. Can you please share the network structure of CNN, RNN, long shirt Tom? Share the network structure. Venkatesh, I can tell you some books basically. Probably not right now. I don't have anything right now to share with you, but I can tell you some books which you can learn, which you can use for learning purposes. That will help. Does the emotional intelligence of human world plays a vital role in artificial intelligence? Vinay, very good question. See, right now we are not in the stage of emotional intelligence. It's all logical intelligence, right? uh, Now just think, I'm just asking one question, right? I'm just going to tell you how logical intelligence is different than human intelligence. um, just think, I want to give you a car worth $1 billion. Vinay, I'm asking a question specifically from you. Okay, I'm not able to see your answer, but yeah, I'll just try. $1 billion, I'm gifting you a car, right? And this car is a self-driving car. Okay, and this car uh, can drive in any country, anywhere, right? Now this car also has a logic that if um this car sees the number of like people on the road are higher than the number of people sitting in the car, it will, and in the case of emergency, this car will sacrifice the life of the passenger in order to save the people on the road. Would you like to buy this car? You understand my question? Logically yes. Humanly no, right? If I have a $1 billion car, probably I'll not be able to sacrifice my life, right? So the logical thinking is different than the human thinking. Okay. So emotional intelligence is not playing the part right now, but it may in future, right? I hope you got the answer, Vinay. Did you get it? Yeah, Prakash, correct. Okay, so I'm coming to the questions. How can we choose between machine learning and deep learning, where the features are much more higher, Prince? When you are not able to define we are not able to define uh, the number of features, then probably you will choose deep learning over there. If you are able to if you're able to basically define the features, then probably you use machine learning, right? Okay, the next, how can we choose the machine learning and deep learning, right? I hope you get that. Unreadable scanned copies, how to deal? It can be dealt easily. Puleshwara, this can be dealt easily because there are several algorithms and which can be used to deal with the scanned copies. Hi Shahadat. Briefly explain what sentiment analysis is. Deepak, sentiment analysis is your positive, negative, or neutral sentiment about something. For example, if you say that movie is so bad that I slept in the in the movie hall, then it's a negative sentiment. So I need to identify what you have written, and there are like thousands of people who are having some statements, and I wanted to identify what the overall sentiment about that movie is. What are prerequisites to learn AI? Mathematics, Kiran. You need to learn mathematics, right? You said the neural network can automatically get important features. Assuming that I have tabular data and I'm using ANN, how do I get the important feature? You need not to worry about that, Jerome. Your ANN can identify the automatically features, and it can adjust that feature automatically, so you don't need to worry about the important feature. If you want to identify the important feature by your own, use machine learning, where you need to do the manual task. How to work with machine or deep learning? Akhil, you have to start learning machine learning, right? Understand what machine learning and deep learning can do, and then you get like learn from the case studies, and then you can start working on it. Sudesh, how it says, if colored image is given as an input, how does it handle? It learns, it find out the patterns, Sudesh, in the different images, and can predict the unseen data. So it can find out like whether Sudesh is present. If you're given 20 photograph of Sudesh, it will find out in a crowd whether Sudesh is present or not. How long does it take to learn neural net? To do a PR project, I believe. Thomas is the name. So Thomas, it depends upon individual to individual. Not everybody gets the same marks in this class or college, right? So I would say it's an ocean. It's an ocean. You can't say that you have to learn A to Z and you learn everything. It's an ocean thing. But I can say that if you want to work on a project, probably you can learn that in 3 to 6 months. Good level, I would say. 3 to 6 months minus Facebook, minus Twitter, minus Insta, uh, minus all the distracting things. Is there any platform online where we can find the data set? Yes, UCI machine learning repository is there. There are various repository which has been offered by Google as well, which can help you learn deep learning thing. Deep learning works or identifies the properties automatically. Identifies automatically. Shashank, what are the things which we need to learn before deep learning? Before learning the deep learning, machine learning and data science, Rupak. You need to have a good understanding of mathematics before you talk about this, right? Okay, what are the programming languages used in deep learning? Python is often on the roll, and there are several languages, but if you want to work on a project, probably Python. If you want to create something, there are several languages. Like Java is also used for deep learning, but it takes a lot of time. C++ is also being used. What are the programming language? I have answered this. What will be the best way to start learning data science? Get started with statistics first. And Amrishan, you have to start learning statistics first, then programming, Python programming. If you learn like how to learn the programming, like how to program maths, then you're good to go. A proper recognition, for example, let us, I missed out this thing. So they are using training data sets. Yes, they're using it. How we can choose between the machine learning and deep learning? I've answered this. In a way programming is being used. I guess most of the questions are repeated. What would be our action plan to? Okay, Riaz, okay, if some people want to learn this, I would say start working with statistics, right? Statistics is the way to learn from the data. So this is the first thing which you start doing this stuff, and once you get into this domain, it would be easy for you to identify what needs to be learned next, because you will start seeing in a particular direction and then you start learning. So first thing first, start working on statistics, then learn programming, then start working on machine learning part, visualization part, understanding of basic mathematics is required, then go for machine learning, and then go for deep learning. There are several people who are directly jumping on deep learning, but they are not able to do more than 1 or 2 projects. They are only able to do like couple of projects and then like no. Okay, so Pavani is asking, is in what way programming is used for neural network? Basically, Pavani, you have to tell computer that how what is the input and what is the output, right? So in order to define those things, you use programming language, and right now Python is actually working best for understanding these things. Varaprasad is asking like how perceptron work in parallel like biological nervous system in ANN. So this depends upon various inputs. For every input, there is an architecture which defines several neural input, neural network input, and eventually it actually passes through an architecture and gives you the output. Okay, there's no minimum or minimum hardware requirement, Sumati. It actually, you can have any GPU enabled system with the i7. Now you can pick up i9, and if you have GPU enabled system with 4 GB of uh, like this graphics memory, then it is good to go. Pavani, I see your questions many times. I hope you got the answer, right? Okay. How important is ethics of an AI in an evolution? Ayan, that's a debatable question. We can take this offline. Very good question though. um, okay. Once a deep learning is built and tested on a form good, can I get to know what these parameters are that influence my predictions? You don't want to. Naveen, the reason why we are, understand one thing guys, why we are using deep learning, because we are not able to define those functions. And if once the program is built and if you want to know why, like which all features were there, then there is no point you build the network by deep learning. There are several things which are manually treatable, but you don't want to use that, you don't want to waste that time. Okay, I think I'm getting lots and lots of questions, guys. There are, I think, hundreds of questions which I want to answer. Pavani, I would suggest like if you put in the questions only once, probably, because I am able to see only your question, not able to see what other people are saying, right? It's AI about the probabilities, kind of, yes, Sevanti. A lot of things are being actually being influenced by um, this a probability thing, a lot of things. Can you please suggest any website or YouTube channels? Hemana, it's an ocean, right? So I cannot tell you that one channel can actually do this, the multiple things for AI ML, but there are several. But I would say start working with statistics. Wow, thank you so much for breaking down the complicated info into simple language. You're welcome, Dennis. R or Python? R or Python depends upon what you want to learn. If you want to stay with only analytics, probably R. If you want to go with AI, then probably Python, right? Can you share the learning and the slide? I can share the learning, Sudhir, but slide is intellectual property. I might not be able to share with you. ML used in cybersecurity. It's again, Mudassar, very broad question, but I can give you some idea. There, like if somebody posts an obscene content anywhere on Facebook or something, it has been either hidden or been stopped by AI in Facebook or YouTube, right? You might have noticed that, and this has been done by only artificial intelligence. Guys, so if you are looking for learning perspective, probably I guess you can request your organization to have a session on artificial intelligence and machine learning. You can also connect with me on this link, right? So it says www.linkedin.com/in, and Sudhanshu26 is the number. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn. You can do that. Link is there on the screen. Classification and regression analysis will be easy for beginners. Yes, in Raja, I guess it's more of a more of a, you basically become pro over a period of time. No classification to feed. No, you have to tell the output. Prashant, you have to tell the output. You have to tell whether it is right or wrong, whatever. You have to always monitor what machine has understood. If you don't do that, probably you will not guarantee the results. Amrita support vector machine is one of the machine learning algorithm, right, in deep learning. Guys, I'm having looks hundreds of questions. Shatabdi, thank you so much. I'm happy that you like the session. Thank you so much, Shahadat. What prior knowledge needed to start AI? I would say, guys, go for mathematics and statistics. Right? That will help. Thank you so much, Pushpa. You like the session. Thank you so much, Manish. You like the session. I'm happy. Thank you so much, Sumit. Thank you. I am happy that you guys like the session, right? What is the difference between data science and AI, Shashank? So this machine learning capabilities of artificial intelligence has been picked up in data science as well. I would suggest you to register for my upcoming session on artificial intelligence, learning from the scratch, right? In which I'm talking about various prospects like machine learning and data science and all those things, right? I'm talking about all these things, right? So guys, I tried answering all those questions. I hope you like the session. Do connect with me on LinkedIn. I also have a request to make from everybody. I'm not sure if you can, right? There is a link over here, right, which I'll be pasting. If you can give us a feedback, that will be great, right? I can just paste that information here. If you can just give us your feedback, that will be great. I hope you can see that, right? Right, it says N9 capital G capital B NB tcheck.co, and it will be helpful for us to get the feedback, right? It will encourage us to give you more knowledge through this webinar. Can I quickly get smiley from the people who like the session, right? Just smiley would do the job, right? I'm not sure if I put that. Okay, I'm putting it. I guess everybody get that, the feedback link. Okay, please click on that link, right, and give us the feedback, right? Please help us with your feedback. Thank you so much, Ramakrishnan. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lakshmi. Kautuma, thank you so much. Great job, great. I'm happy that you understood it. Theoretical concept we could find anywhere. Yes, Kapil, you have to start getting started with it. That's I guess that's a key. Start working on it and probably you will learn more. Most interesting project, I worked on GIS. For this, AI is not being picked up very good way in India, but I'm sure in probably an year or so, because government is pushing a lot of efforts in AI. I'm sure you will be seeing a lot more things coming up in AI, like in India. I'm talking about. Thank you so much, Jamuna. I love to connect with you guys. Shahadat, you need to get in touch with RPS to get the enrollment in the new session, right? Thank you so much, Basava. Thank you so much, Rupesh. Thank you, everyone, guys. You need to contact RPS, guys, for the next session. Thank you so much, Dinesh. Feedback link I have given on the chat, right? Please connect with me on LinkedIn. Please ask RPS for more sessions. They will help you. Sure, Ritansh. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. I hope you learned something new, guys, and I hope you enjoyed this session. I've got a lot of smileys. I can see your happy faces now. Right. Thank you so much. Please make sure that you're giving the feedback. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer your questions. Right. And I would take leave of you now. Probably I'll see you in the next session where we'll talk more on different technologies. Thank you so much, guys, for attending the session. I hope you enjoyed the session very much. Thank you so much. I'll be pasting the link once again. I hope you get the feedback link. Please put in your basic details and it will do the job. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye bye.